What's good, Commanders fans? It's been a little while since I made a video, so I just wanted to check in with you guys. There's two guys who are the Commanders. One guy they met with, and one guy they had a top 30 visit with. Of course, you can take the visits and meetings with a grain of salt because last year I'm pretty sure we didn't draft anybody that we had a visit with. Of course, you just meet with a lot of people, but the top 30 visits, I mean, you can kind of take them with a grain of salt. They're just kind of to check in, different things like that. Now, Jeff Okudah, news around the league, Jeff Okudah just got traded to the Falcons. That's a guy who was a top 3, top 5 pick. They were not going to pick up his 5th-year option, basically, with the Lions. He basically wanted to get traded. Now he got traded to the Falcons for a 5th-round pick. It kind of makes you think about Chase Young a little bit. Devin White now from the Buccaneers, the linebacker, for a 5th-year option coming up, 1st-round pick. Now he's requested a trade. Now, you heard Ron Rivera talk about Chase Young's 5th-year option. He hasn't been a ringing endorser of picking up the 5th-year option, basically saying that he wants Chase Young to show him and compares him to Daron Payne. Even though they did pick up Daron Payne's 5th-year option, basically all the things that Ron Rivera has said in press conferences in the offseason that he wants Chase Young to prove to him to get another contract before they reward him with picking up his 5th-year option. That's basically what it sounded like from Ron Rivera. So, personally, I don't think Chase Young is going to request a trade. I don't think they're going to trade Chase Young. But you look around the league, what's going on with guys coming up with their 5th-year options, that they're kind of iffy with picking up, or does that player want to still be here with this organization? And it is, it's interesting to just look at it around the league. So I'm intrigued to see what Ron Rivera does with Chase Young and with picking up his 5th-year option. So I think they're going to pick it up, and I do think that Chase Young. I don't think Chase Young is going to request a trade. That's just my thoughts on that. So we'll see. Devin White. I don't think Ron Rivera is going to trade for Devin White. I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, "Oh, trade for Devin White." I don't think he will because that's just not a Ron Rivera kind of move. It's just not. And Jeff Okudah, that's somebody I definitely would have looked into trading for. A 5th-round pick for Jeff Okudah. I know he hasn't panned out or played up to because he had a lot of hype coming out. He just like Chase Young, he had a lot of hype coming out. He hasn't played up to expectations. So I wasn't banging on the table with the trade for him. But I think there's a guy that you definitely could have looked into, inquire at least a 5th-round pick. That's not bad at all for Jeff Okudah. Let's get into the two guys that I like that they have had a visit and a meeting with. They've had multiple visits and meetings with other guys as well. But Malik Cunningham stood out to me. I don't know if he's going to get drafted or not. There's a lot of people who think he's going to be like a 6th-round, 7th-round pick or an undrafted guy, quarterback out of Louisville. Kind of like a Lamar Jackson Jr., 6'1", 200 pounds. I watched the Syracuse game. He did not look good in that game through 2 picks. Threw 1 pick in the end zone where it's kind of like he didn't even see the cornerback that was there. Then he threw another interception over the middle. But the guy is electric. Very mobile, scrambling quarterback, a lot of rushing yards, electric, had like a 70-something yard run against, was it Duke or something like that? Duke is not a good defensive team at all, but he had 7 touchdowns in that game last year. I mean, a decorated career, started since he was a sophomore, won many awards, and I like the way he played in the Senior Bowl too. He threw a really nice pass at a tight end on the sideline for a touchdown. So I do like his arm strength a little bit. Of course, he's got to work on his footwork, work on his accuracy, consistency as well, but I think he can play, man. And if you get him in the 7th round or 6th round, or maybe even as an undrafted guy, I think that's a good quarterback that you can have on your practice squad and groom. Now, the only thing, of course, you got to tailor your offense to his strengths, which is read option, which is RPOs, zone reads, all that kind of stuff. Those are his strengths. Now, I think he kind of, I'm not going to say he peaked his sophomore year, but his sophomore year was his best season. Statistically, he had a good sophomore year. I think it was a sophomore year or his junior year. He had, 22 touchdowns, 5 picks in his sophomore year, redshirt sophomore year in 2019. And then after that, he had 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, 19 touchdowns, 6 picks. This past year, 8 touchdowns and 5 picks. He got injured, missed a game or two. But, the scouting report on him is that he didn't really improve after his sophomore year. Now, at Louisville, he broke Lamar Jackson's school record by accounting for 120 career touchdowns. He opted out of the Fenway Bowl as well. He led all FBS quarterbacks with 1,031 yards and 20 touchdowns on the ground. That's a lot of running touchdowns right there. That's a lot of running. Like I said, I like dual threat quarterbacks. I really do. But, of course, like I said, you got to tailor your offense and can they throw the football. A lot of his passes were wide open to guys over the middle, tight ends, wide receivers. But he did make some nice passes, some nice touch passes and throwing guys open from what I saw a couple times just watching him play. Now, of course, a strange dynamic athlete with intriguing dual threat capabilities. Stresses defense from RPO and zone read looks. Decent passing accuracy when in rhythm. Instant burst to outrace pursuit to the corner. Weaknesses: angular build with narrow hips and slender frame. Completed just 31% of his deep throws in 2022 per PFF. And then also stress coverage into his immediate targets. Angular build with narrow, and then, yeah, so failed to build on a solid first season in 2019, his sophomore year. So, yeah, that's the concern. I watched that Syracuse game. That was a concern to me. It did concern me a little bit, throwing those interceptions like that and just not seeing corners and linebackers over the middle of the field. But I'm intrigued with him. Like I said, we got Sam. So I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback too high, but I think like 5th round, maybe 6th round, 7th round, they might draft another guy because Ron Rivera keeps saying they want to add another guy to the room, and they're not going to rule quarterback out of the option. Of course, you want to see what Sam can do. So I highly doubt they draft a quarterback in the 1st round. But Malik Cunningham is somebody to look at, and he already has been drafted by a USFL team that I heard. It was like the Birmingham or something, like some Birmingham team or something like that. So we'll see. The other guy, Jartavius Martin. I'm probably butchering his name. Jartavius Martin out of Illinois. I like him a lot. The reason why I like him because he can play slot, he can play outside, he can play safety. Versatility. We just don't have a slot corner right now. Our slot corner is Danny Johnson or Rashad Wildgoose. I think this guy could certainly come in and fill up, man. I got some numbers for him. So he played 493 snaps in the slot, 177 snaps at free safety per PFF, 75 snaps at boundary corner, and 44 snaps in the box. This guy has a 44-inch vertical. Ran a 4.40, so he's super athletic. Did play basketball in high school as well. He's super athletic, can windmill dunk and all kinds of stuff. Just a super athletic guy. Had 15 pass breakups in the slot position. He played with, of course, Devin Witherspoon. So Devin Witherspoon didn't get targeted at all. So they probably tried to pick on Jartavius Martin, but he wasn't having it. All Big Ten second team as well. All Big Ten third team in the coach's eyes. And also played well in the Senior Bowl as well. And he can play special teams as well. Had 1 sack and 3 picks this past season, 64 tackles. Not scared to tackle as well. Had a 90.4 tackling grade per PFF. So I love the versatility that he brings to the defense side of football. Like we released Bobby McCain. He could come in and fill in that Bobby McCain spot, playing that slot position, that safety position. You can mix and match coverages. You can disguise coverages with him as well. So I like him a lot. We do need a slot corner, and I think maybe in the 3rd round, if you don't get a corner in the 1st round, if they go like Darnell Wright in the 1st round, offensive tackle out of Tennessee, something like that. 2nd round, you go maybe tight end. I don't know. But if you don't get corner in the first 2 rounds, I wouldn't be mad if they got Jartavius Martin in the 2nd round, to be honest with you. It might be a reach, but I like him. I like him a lot. I think he brings a lot of versatility to the team and athleticism and speed to the team that we certainly could use for sure. So I like this guy, Jartavius Martin, a lot out of Illinois. So he's somebody that stood out to me from the top 30 visits that I wanted to make a video about. And this reminds me too about these guys getting traded like Jeff Okudah. What would you even get for Chase Young? You really wouldn't get much from him. So I don't see there a point in trading him, especially if it's only going to be for like a 5th round or 4th round, unless he really requests a trade and there's no news about that going on at all. So I've seen some mock trades with like Chase Young to the Texans and stuff like that. I don't see that happening. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. How do you guys like any prospects? If there's any other prospects that you want to see me talk about that you like from top 30 visits or just at overall, let me know down in the comment section. Health Commanders. Peace.